UFC Fight Night is back in Las Vegas, Nevada at the UFC Apex. My name is Minty Bets here with the We Want Picks post-weigh-in show for this Saturday's fight between Lerone Murphy and Edson Barboza. And if you're new to the show, this is where I go through the official weigh-ins and I go through every single fighter on the card and talk about their weight. I really like this card, but because I am leaning towards a ton of favorites, I am finding that I'm having to make really specific prop bets or just going with the dogs in hopes of one good upset. So this week is a little tricky betting-wise, in my opinion. I will be back on the ESPN Plus broadcast giving out my picks during the fights, so be sure to tune in. And not sure if we have all the same picks or not, but Angelo and Jacob have a few bets fired up, and you guys can access them as a premium member only on WeWantPicks.com. Let's begin with the featherweight main event, starting with the first fighter to step on the scale, Lerone Murphy. He's on a 5-fight win streak and comes in as the favorite here. The odds are really reasonable in this one, I think. Murphy came in at 146 pounds, and his opponent, Edson Barboza, looking like an AI creation. That man does not age. He looks phenomenal, and he weighed 145 and a half. I do have a pick for this one, and it will be on the total. For the co-main event, we've got Khaos Williams and Carlston Harris. Khaos is the name of a club I almost worked at like 5 years ago. Thank goodness I didn't take that job because the club tanked not even a year later. Khaos Williams stepping on the scale at 170 pounds, while Carlston was at 169 and a half. Both actually looked really good, and this is going to be a fun co-main event. In another welterweight matchup, we've got one of the nicest guys in the game, Temba Gorimbo, and I say he's one of the nicest guys in the game because when he made his UFC debut, it was media day, and all the fighters, like literally everyone gets ready in like one dressing room. And he comes in, and obviously it's like mostly women who are like getting everyone ready. And he comes in and takes his shirt off, and he's like, "Oh my god, like I'm so sorry, guys. Like, is this okay with you guys? Like, should I leave?" Like he was very uncomfortable with his shirt off around all these women, and it was so cute. He came in at 170 and a half, and his opponent Ramiz Brahimaj reminded me a little bit of Arman Tsarukyan with that hair all grown out. I am a fan. He weighed 170 and a half as well. Next up, a matchup I do have a pick for, as both of these fighters are coming off a pair of losses and looking to bounce back. Adrian Yanez and Vinicius Salvador. Salvador came in at 136 and looked good. I always like to see fighters move up in weight. And Adrian Yanez also came in at 136. Moving on to the ladies at strawweight, Luana Pinheiro was the final fighter to be weighed, and she had the weight of 116. I thought she'd be looking like a hot mess, not gonna lie, as she walked across the stage because she was the last fighter. But she looked great, and her energy was very good as well. As for Angela Hill, she looked amazing from head to toe. That is the body that I desire to have, but I'm doing absolutely nothing to achieve it. She came in at 115 and a half. In the prelims, we've got a pair of fighters making their UFC debut, Umar Sy and Tuco Tokos. Tokos is coming in on 3 days' notice, as he mentioned on the scale. Not only that, but he also is coming in after a long layoff. I liked the Umar side in this one prior to the fighter replacement, so now I'm probably not going to bet this one at all. The short notice Tokos looked excited to be back, and he weighed 205 and a half. Umar Sy had to step on the scale twice, actually. The first time he came in at 207 and a half, and that second attempt he got down to 206. Excellent physique, by the way. The biggest favorite on the board, and with no surprise, is Tom Nolan. Now, I remember Tom Nolan's Contender Series fight so vividly, and I remember after the fight, I was like, holy shit, I cannot wait to see him fight again. So, in his debut, I bet against Nicholas Moda, and I put all my eggs in one basket and bet and gave out Tom Nolan round 1 at minus 135. You know what happened? Tom Nolan got knocked out in round 1. And now Nolan by round 1 is plus 110. I actually bet on it again. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, Tom Nolan officially weighed 155 and a half, and Victor Martinez came in at 156. I was not very impressed with Martinez. Just how he looked, it was very He had very low energy. His body and his body language just looked a little off. Onto the women's bantamweight, both Melissa Gatto and Tamiris Vidal came in at 134.5 pounds, and both women looked good to go. Back to the boys, Abus Magomedov coming off a loss and coming in at 185.5 pounds. Meanwhile, Warley Alves coming off of 3 defeats and weighing 186, and that man is thick, by the way, thick. Now time for Jacob's Lock of the Week. Whoa, it is Ariane Carnelosi, and legit, if any of you guys have watched the Disney movie Encanto, she is Luisa in the most respectful way possible. That woman could lift donkeys. She stepped on the scale at 115.5, and she is also coming off a long layoff from the octagon, while her opponent Pierre Rodrigues weighed 116 pounds. Moving on to the second fight on the card, and that is going to be Alatengheili and Kleydson Rodrigues. Rodrigues comes in at 135.5 and looked really good. Alatengheili also looked well at 136. And the last matchup for the show, but the first fight of the night, is going to be between Vanessa Demopoulos and Emily Ducote. I love Emily in this one, and I really wanted to bet Emily by decision, but it was like minus 220. What the hell? I'm very excited for this bout, by the way. Vanessa came in with the official weight of 116, and Emily was at 115.5. So, no fighters missed, no fights canceled, no drama today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to We Want Picks right here on YouTube, and come back next week for the We Want Picks post-weigh-in show for UFC 302, Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier.